game and introduce our players Dark and Deer for this PvZ best of 3. I feel like you've been a bit unlucky getting a couple PvZs in a row. I know some people like PvZ, but I personally really find PvZ kind of a little bit, I just think it's very repetitive. On the plus side, we get to see if Deer has something a little bit different to show us in terms of build orders. So let's see. To the top left hand side, our red Zerg player, this is Dark. Going up against the blue Protoss to the bottom right hand side, Deer. So PvZ, best of 3. I'd like to see just how this will get going in a moment or two. Let me just get my Twitch chat open on my phone again. I knew I had my phone open for a reason. Now I remember. So let's see what happens. Dark and Deer. Again, I mean, I just sort of expect this to be another sort of round of like. I just sort of expect this to once again be like this sort of round of action where we potentially see the. We potentially see the aggressive sort of side of the Protoss, and maybe even the kind of counter-aggressive side of Dark. He loves these roach styles, and these roach styles really lend themselves to cleaning up an attack and then eventually counter-attacking, as we saw a couple of times. So we're just going to be seeing this Nexus on the way down. The hatchery is on its way up as well, and just getting set up here in these initial stages. Going to see the link speed starting up as well out of Dark at the moment, so that's on its way up right now. Natural Hatchery is also starting to build up right here, so Natural Hatchery coming through, Cybernetics Core over halfway done. Dreamcatcher, I don't think I've actually seen a PvZ on Dreamcatcher yet. Maybe back in the day, back when we casted these maps in the Team Liquid Map Contest tournament, but I don't think we've seen these maps on. I don't think I've casted Dreamcatcher PvZ on the since it's been introduced into the new map pool. So. Interested to see how this goes. Interested to see what's going to come of this here in the next few minutes. Just need to put my mic back on the desk. I was holding it up for a moment or two. This chair couch thing that I'm casting on is really not comfortable. Like, I feel as though I have to lean a little bit further in to make sure you guys can hear me well enough on the microphone. And it really doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel good at all. It feels bad, man. Anyways, we are going to be seeing the Link speed finishing the Stargate coming up. What a surprise, guys. What a surprise. Stargate coming through here early. I mean, again, we just see it day in and day out. PvZ after PvZ after PvZ. We see it a lot of the time. We see it a lot of the time. Couple probes on the way up here from Deer as well. So just getting those going. And we are going to see this probe getting shut down by Queen and a couple of Zerglings. So, again, just little bits of damage being done here so far. It's actually a Void Ray from the Stargate, and that is a little bit different. The Void Ray instead of the Phoenix. It's very good at kind of shutting down. It still shuts down the Overlords, but also it's going to be very good at shutting down Roach counterattacks, etc. So that is something kind of intriguing. Okay, it's going to be finishing up soon, and we are going to see this Void Ray just off to the left-hand side to maybe try and again, find that first Overlord, and it is going to be an Oracle follow-up. 2 more gates coming down as well, so no sign of a Twilight Council or Robo just yet before the gateways. And that means we are probably going to see a bit of a faster third Nexus attempt with the gateway units to defend young Dreamcatcher from Deer. Well, let's see. Lair is on the way up as well in the meantime from Dark. So he's getting his lair up. We're going to see a few more drones just coming through as well. So a few more drones coming up, and we are going to have a depth from Deer about to finish up also. Over facility drops down. Warp gate is now done, so we can see these gateways morphing into warp gates, and I guess we really start to see what he's going to kind of warp in now. What's his gas? Not high enough to warp in sentries, not really high enough to warp in much at all. Angel's Den already dropping down from Dark, so we talked about Dark's Roach style, but he didn't change this up, and this is actually a very weird style at Dark. Actually, I guess I was a little bit lazy in terms of my describing of this game, because this hatchery coming down from Dark is obviously very, well, very different, I suppose, to say it simply. Like, this hatchery coming down very late in comparison to usual, so he is going to rush out the hydras a bit faster than he might usually expect. And for now, it's kind of working out. I wonder if that's just because he sort of saw the Void Ray. Anyways, the Void Ray is going to get pushed back. Still can regenerate the shields, of course. As you see, the Forge, the Twilight Council on the way up. We're going to see an Observer about to pop as well. And the Forge and the Twilight Council obviously kind of opens you up to that next stage of the game. And wow, look at that, a 5 minute and 20 second Lurker Den out of Dark. That's pretty much one of the fastest kind of Lurker Dens you can kind of get here. So Lurker Den on the way up, and we are going to see this +1 attack coming through from Deer as well. So he's just setting up for this kind of macro focused game. Third Nexus coming through, but you have to be a little bit worried as Dark actually loses some drones here as well. Dark's worker count is really low. He just lost 7 workers, recalls out of there for the Oracle's Gear so you can actually keep them alive. But Dark is now down to what, like 36 drones? He's rebuilding a couple, but he's mostly been building Lings and Hydras. He runs towards the third base now with some Lings. They don't look too suspect because, well, you know, some Lings out at this stage is very normal. It's the Hydras which I really think are a little bit like, huh? Like, what? Really? Hydras? Already? And then Lurkers already? They're going to be the power units here, so let's see what they can maybe do. But he needs to get the Lings in front of tank for them. Definitely can't let these Hydras be taking any damage. You need to keep all of these alive at this stage, I think. He's trying to do their job, the Vordray. He's helping out as well. Definitely could use those Hydras to target the Vordray if he wanted to. Shield battery out of energy now, so it becomes a little bit easier for Dark to push through this position. Still down in workers heavily here, Dark. He's completely committed to this attack. He wants to get a couple of Lurkers on the way as well, and I imagine he'll pull back here right now with at least a couple of these Hydras to make the Lurkers, especially the lower health 1 or 2. And again, it's sort of like, you know, you pull back, you spread out. The issue is if Dark just or Deer chases you forwards, you lose some more units. Well, Lurker Den's finished, so Lurkers can now morph in. Deer not really making much movement just yet. These rocks are down, so he got rid of those. So it just blocks off this access point. 5 Lurkers on the way up. Dark is committed on 39 drones. He's going for this. He's really going to be hoping that these Lurkers can trade well enough here, because if they can't, well, obviously it's going to be very, very painful. I'm just going to be able to get through this set of rocks in the next few moments. Some more Lurkers coming on over to the right hand side as well. And as these Lurkers come on over to the right hand side, they're going to start burrowing, and we are going to be seeing, well, this Nexus is going to get taken down pretty quick if he doesn't do something about it. How do you fight the Lurkers? I mean, he's got the Oracles, he's got Revelations, so he doesn't have energy just yet. Okay, yes, he does. Drops that first Revelation down, but still has to fight against this. Dark is still pushing through, the shield battery keeping the Voidray in the back alive. He picks off an Immortal, gets one of the Oracles. Voidray goes down now too. Those shield batteries are pretty drained of energy, so he doesn't have much to work with in that regard. And the thing is, Deer just needs to get a few more units out, right? And he has the time to sort of sit. Yes, he lost a base, but then Dark's only just now really starting to get back into it in terms of economy. Immortals pushing forwards, and I think these Immortals are just going to be good enough. Does he have detection still? He does, because he just killed one of them. Drops a new Revelation, so Lurkers are still seen here. And Dark is going to have to lift up and get out of there. And yes, Deer has to re-expand, but again, 6 worker lead, a little bit of an army supply advantage, and an upgrade lead too. If you actually look at the income right now, it will probably be Dark favored because he has the extra expansion. But as Deer gets his base back up, it should start rolling pretty well for him. Also, Dark has just been kind of focusing very much so on unit production until he started to build workers, and then he built workers. So now he kind of has to go back into unit production to survive this counterattack. And that could maybe could have been the kind of the moment where maybe he'd overdroned or so. In the end, it doesn't seem to happen or anything, but yeah, pulling back down to the south side and just getting ready to gather up again. Plus 2 weapons on the way from this forge. And you see the double Robo facility is just sat next to each other, cranking out those Immortals. Going to be so important here, and Lurkers are already on the map, of course. Does also have to push that attack back, feels as though he has the time to start up Storm, so Storm upgrade is currently on the way. So Storm currently on the way through. As Storm comes up, we're going to be seeing the we're going to be seeing our Protoss player just really feeling comfortable, I think, with the army that he has. So Deer is really just striving now for the later stages of this game. He's really just going for it. Doesn't really have to hold back for anything. Dark has once again stopped droning on 51 workers. He's been building purely army. It looks as though he's just going to go for round 2 of let's try and win this game right here and right now, rather than playing it out into a bit of a longer game. But Storm is about to finish. These rocks buy a little bit of time. The shield batteries are full of energy once again too. It looks like Doc's just going to be coming in from this left-hand side. He's actually going to pull a few units around the top now, maybe, as you see as Zealot sees a few Hydras pulling back around there as well. Rock's going down, so both openings are possible. And you see the Warp Prism into the main base, getting a few Zealots, and it's going to be a distraction, and Doc is actually going to start really pulling his entire army back. Wow, well, he gets a run by into the main and the natural, so Dia has to deal with this, and that's going to be painful. And she has to recall into the main base to do that, and well, he actually will deal with it pretty well. He actually doesn't lose too much at all. It's just that Doc is still on 51 drones. He just is sitting on this number, and he is just not moving from it at all. Still only 3 bases, no 4th. And so again, it just feels like all Dia has to do is keep on defending, keep on just sitting defensively. If he just keeps on defending, then boom. He should just be able to, well, win this game, I think. Really. Revelation comes down on those lurkers from the Oracle once again. Prism in the main, pushed away by a Queen. It's Prism pushed back by a Queen. Meanwhile, +2 attack is coming up on the Evolution Chamber, so +2 on the Evo. It's coming through and getting ready to go as well. Again, a few more Lings and Hydras gathering up to the right side. And you're going to be seeing a few Overlords just currently on the way up, so Doc, 48 drones. Does he rebuild? Yes, he does. 7 drones in production. So Doc's finally on that stage have decided to kind of go for it with the workers once more. As his last few Overlords of the game now needed to finish up. He's now free to go straight up to 200 to supply if he'd like to. Revelation is down here. It looks as though, I mean, Dia's really toying with the idea of taking the fight. Zealot over here pulling back a lot of the Lings and Hydras, maybe opening this opportunity for a fight, but doesn't commit in just yet. So you've seen those lurkers still sat here, and you see the Immortals. We'll start push on through. Storms coming down. Lings and Hydras getting hit quite heavily by those initial storms. Observer just overhead as well gets taken down here. Immortal's still just kind of fighting. Still has the Oracle for Revelation, even if he doesn't have the Observer, which just got sniped down. So he still has a way to see these lurkers at the moment. 2 more observers currently being made. There's actually an Archon stuck in the main after that recall into the main to deal with the Lings beforehand, so that's a little bit of a shame. Something which Dia just hasn't realised just yet, at least. Changeling gets taken down. Doc still just sat aggressively on this right hand side. Archon being healed up by one of these shield batteries too, and Dia just takes a bit more of a defensive stance towards the 3rd base. Still no 4th out of Doc, and I think that's something which, you know, as this War Prism goes down, he had still been seeing the lack of a 4th, and so he just says, well, why commit in if there's no 4th base from you? I mean, if you just sit on 3 base against 3 base, I still think this is my advantage. At least I think that's what Dia's feeling. Say there's no 4th base. He actually took the gold on his top side, so I guess there's something here for him. So maybe there is a reason for Dia to start thinking about pushing on into towards this couple of storms. Warding back a couple of lurkers, but they don't do massive damage. The lurkers actually have a lot of hit points. The storm isn't amazing on them. They actually take 3 storms to kill off a lurker, and that's if they sat in them for the full time, which obviously doesn't really happen a lot. And this lurker still just sat here as you see these Zealots coming in, a couple of Lings, a couple of Hydras, taking some more damage. In fact, a lot of these Hydras going down, as actually Dia takes the opportunity to move on forwards. He's going to push straight on into this. He is 4th base under attack by Hydras. It gets killed, no cancel. He's going to get the 4th base of Dark. I think really just killing off all those lurkers is a massive play, because suddenly you're playing against Ling Hydra. That's not a scary composition in comparison to Ling Hydra Lurker. So, well, this is annoying though. A bit of a Zealot run by is, Hydra run by is definitely going to slow things down. And she uses power to these Zealots, at least fast warpings, so slow warping's happening. He maybe wants to recall into the main base now. Once again, he did it before. It did work out again now. Actually, these Hydras are doing a lot of damage. I mean, all the way into the main, you're going to get themselves a... Well, they've got themselves a couple of pylons already. They've empowered a lot of gates, so actually a lot of production of Dia slowed down massively. Dia also floating a lot of gas. 1,400 just sat in the back, not really doing anything. We're all going to see those Hydras going to get dealt with now, though. So as those Hydras go down, what happens from here? Hydras fall. I think Doc's just in trouble again. I think Doc doesn't really have the units he needs to sort of hold on to things at the moment. So this is not looking too pretty, as we do see the army. You We've seen a few more lurkers on the way, and I mean they're definitely the kind of backbone of the Protoss, of the Zerg army at the moment. It's the army that really can do something here. The lurkers, they can fight somewhat against the Immortals, against the Archons, but I just wonder if the numbers are going to be a little bit too low right now, and we'll just allow Dia to take game number 1. Does armor reduce storm damage? No, spells aren't affected by armor for the most part. So it's mostly that the lurkers are just tanky against the storms. They just have a lot of health compared to like Hydras, which die in like almost one storm, will bring them down to super low HP. Lurkers don't even get brought to half HP by a storm, so it makes them very tanky in that sort of sense. Wildlings and Hydras to the left going to hit this 4th base again. There's still a 4th just now reconstructing from Dark back at home. This base might just go down, but Dia doesn't really seem to care. He's just going to send a couple of Immortals over to try and fight it, but I don't think they can do enough on their own, because those Lings will just get surrounded. Obviously that would end up being pretty painful. A couple of, well actually just a lurker in this mineral line. It's actually very lucky to get that lurker past the army, because it came down the right side as the rest of the army moved up the right side. So that was going to be a little bit of a shame. As you do see Immortals, Archons, and the High Templar going to be pushing in towards this base in the next couple of moments. Lurker burrows once again. In the middle of the map, these Hydras being pushed back too, and now Dark going to lose his 3rd base. He's just so reliant on these lurkers here. Revelation comes down though, and I think he has just going to realise that he has plenty of good storms to start things off. Continues to storm as well, pushes those lurkers back, and the Hydras that were caught in the Stormfall movement too as well took a lot of damage. Again, out in the centre, a couple of Archons just chasing those Hydras away too, and as he pushes forwards, another couple of lurkers going down, another Revelation, more storms available, and even drones trying to pull into this here, but Dark really does not have enough. This is the semi-finals. It's only game number 1, so Dark can definitely come back into this, but there is already $50 in the bank if he can't come back. Remember that. It's a big weekly event, this one, $500 every week. As you see Archons and models coming forwards, and again Hydras and lurkers continue to be shut on down. That's from Hydras going to be away. That's GG, and Dia takes game 1 of this best of 3. I don't really like throwing a break on just after a game, but I really had to go get a drink, and it doesn't really make sense for me to just leave you guys here. If we could run a set of ads, which does support the stream and helps us to continue producing content as well. So thank you for understanding, and let's go into game 2 of Dark versus Dia. I'm actually going to follow someone to observe, because I kind of hurt my back. I'm going to follow Naruto to observe here. To the top left hand side, our right Zerg player is Dark. I guess I'll do the intros myself and then follow Naruto. To the bottom right hand side, our blue Protoss player is Dia. I just need to like sit back for a game or so. Is Naruto even here? Okay, let's follow Crank. I just need to sit back for a game or so because my my neck's hurting a little bit from the position of this desk, so just gonna use Crank's observing just for one game, and we can get this going. Who is Lee Sin Hyung on the bracket? That's Innovation. So our second semi-final is going to be Innovation versus Gumiho, and that's going to be coming up after this series. And then we will have a best of 5 TVZ or TVP finals, depending on who is able to win here between Dark and Dia, of course. Dia being 1-0 up, of course, but we'll see how it goes. For now, the Nexus is coming down, the Stargate coming through as well, and even if we just leave it on Crank's Vision for the next couple of minutes, it just gives me a moment to rest my neck. It just feels as though I'm like just straining forwards because this is like a silly little couch that doesn't really work for casting on. It's this Airbnb is weird, man. There's not a single like proper table and chair. It's just this couch thing which I'm sleeping on as well because my mum's in New York with me and she's still in my bed, man. Feels bad. Feels bad, man. So Palaterion coming in for the 2-month resub. I know it's been so many more than 2 months in the past as well, buddy. So thank you so much for continue to resupport, and thank you so much for the 2 months. Give some love in the chat for Palaterion, guys. 2-month resub is always fun to see. Thank you very much indeed for the 2 months. Appreciate it. Actually, the sub count's doing pretty good, guys, considering we're having obviously a bit of a slow month because I'm away. I was casting BTSL last weekend if you missed it. I'm on vacation now. I'm going to be at Austin next weekend producing some content. The sub count at 280-ish is pretty decent, so again, the goal is that once we get back from Austin, etc., we're going to be able to go live and try and hit 300 subs again, and try and keep around 300 subs once we're casting very regularly. Is the biggest goal of all. Like if we can stay above 300 subs, that's one of the things that we just sort of need to do this year. to justify continuing to cast StarCraft, so it's good that we're kind of sticking around there. Phoenix here is going for its second Overlord kill, and as he goes for its second Overlord kill, we do see the Oracle is heading in towards the main base too. It's going to get pushed away by the Queen, so Oracle unable to find much just yet. The Twilight Council, as you can see, is being placed and is about to finish up. Allows for the Templar Archives, allows for the charge. It allows for those kind of setups that we saw earlier in the series in the other PVZs. Without really much question about it, this really is the way to open at the moment, apparently. As there is the Templar Archives dropping down behind this mineral line. So Templar Archives behind the mineral line. Okay, I'm going to go back to my own observing, guys. Thanks for putting cracks for a moment or two. As you see the Phoenix coming in, lifting the Queen, and then the Oracle getting just a single drone kill before getting out of there. Nicely done in general, in the end. What's up, Foster, in the chat? How you doing? Hope you're having a good time, and welcome to the stream today. Hope you're doing well. As you do just see this Oracle moving around, looking to see what's going on. Temple Archives is going to be finishing up in a moment or two. Forge is about halfway done. And we do see that Observer is currently on the way out as well. 4 High Temple warping in. And you just see those couple of Archons about to finish up. So, again, how many gates do we actually go up to here? It was just the 4 of them, not the 6. And so with only 4 gateways, you are in that sort of position where you're going to be able to deal with the, you know, you're not going to be able to kind of warp in a massive zealots. It does get the next stand a little bit sooner too, as you do see these couple of Archons dropping. We see +1 also already on the way for the Protoss player as well. And, well, these Archons, you have a good chance to get some damage done, honestly. I mean, a couple of shots on the Queens already, and now shots on the Roaches too. Warp Prism lifts up. Oh my god, dear, what a disaster. He lifts up, and the Queens take the Warp Prism down in that moment. Both Archons go down. That was just a missed micro from Dia. Horrible missed micro at that. It really wasn't what this was meant to be. Guys, we are a little bit laggy in game at the moment. This happened earlier as well, because we are just on Airbnb internet. It just passed over after about 30 seconds or so last time, so I'm sure it'll happen again here the same this time. So I do apologise for a slight little bit of lag. Sorry for that. Again, hopefully it should just fix up nice and quickly. And then do know it's coming through to the stream. Hydra's Den is on the way up, +1 missiles coming through as well, so we're going to see this kind of Roach Hydra style. Roach speed coming up for the moment, and well, what does Dia do from here? I mean, having lost the Warp Prism with 2 Archons inside, that's already painful, right? I mean, that's already going to cost quite a bit. And that's actually really, kind of just, I don't know, like, it takes away a lot of your map control, it takes away a lot of the potential you have to get damage done. As you do see, this Oracle comes off over to the left hand side. We do have a few Zerglings of Dark just moving around themselves to try and see just what they can get up to every now and then. 12 more Roaches on the way up, +1 missile attack, Groove Spines all on the way out here. 2 Immortals are coming through. Psy Storm's about to finish up, also about halfway done here at the moment. And we are just going to be seeing the, well, the free base setup of Dia. Just losing those Archons initially has given Dark that complete freedom to do what he wants, and well, he's going to drop Lords, he's going into more Roaches alongside these Hydras, and he is looking to play an aggressive style, you know, aggressive lair-based game. Not rushing up to Hive, not rushing up to Broodlords or anything, just Roaches, Hydras, and obviously a hell of a lot of drops as well, getting set up and ready to go. So here we go. These 6 Overlords contain a mixture of Roaches and Hydras, and so, yeah, I say 6, it's actually just 5. Where's the 6th one? 1, 2, 3, there's one. No, that's an Overseer, I clicked wrong. Where's the last one? There's not 6 here. Don't lie to me, game. Oh, there's one. All the way back over here left at home. Took a while to find that, didn't it? Well, Oracle is going to be coming forwards and seeing these Overlords going in towards the main. Also has to deal with this attack on the 3rd base at the same time, so what's he actually having in position to deal with this? Not a lot. In fact, basically nothing. His Stalker's initially trying to shut down an Overlord. This is not a fake out though, this is definitely real. And there's definitely going to have to be some sort of commitment of units over here to deal with this. Right now it's just not there. As you see, these pounds are going to start taking some damage. That's Zealot Warping coming on through. Going to help these couple of Immortals which you get to defend. Meanwhile, Immortals and Zealots are attacking on the left hand side. High Templar have made their way towards the main base, where they're going to be able to maybe be part of this as well. More Roaches at the natural. The Roaches at the 3rd base do go down, so it's a good cleanup there from Dia. Can he clean up everywhere else as well? He's going to lose the Robo, one of the Robos at the front. Some Roaches going to start dropping in the natural as well, potentially. We do see a few Hydras and a Roach in the back of the main base, also being an annoyance still. the issue, just trying to have enough units to be able to kind of clear up all of these different attacks at different places on the map at the same time. As we are going to see roaches and hydras just moving forwards here, guys. You can see what's going on. It's going to be coming in. We're just going to be seeing those few pros starting to go down. There's a few pros being picked away. Meanwhile, we do see the final drop in the main. It's actually reinforced by another couple overlords, so actually he still has quite a bit up there in the main base, and Dia is desperately running around all over the place to try and fix this, but so far no real luck. Immortal comes forward, and we are going to see roaches and hydras coming forward to try and push those immortals back again. On the left, still a little bit of a defense coming up from Dia. At least he has shield batteries on this third base, and he is holding on at this position at least. Plus 2 missiles will finish sooner for the Zergs. This is only going to get more powerful. So it looks as though he's going to regather his units all together. I think right now he does actually outnumber his opponent on the third base quite heavily. And shield batteries still coming into play, and he will get 1 and 2 Archons. So he go for another couple of Zealots as well, and I'll just keep pushing in. I mean, now he controls this third base space. It makes it more difficult for Dark, or for Dia to push on through, and so Dark can just sort of sit here and just continue to trade against this. Drop back into the main base. I mean, how many times have we seen this drop just unloading once again? It's just so impossible to deal with once and for all, it seems. These are charging forward, they're going down just one at a time. And Dark, when he backs away for a moment or two, then he sees an immortal just kind of left on its own. And that's the thing, if you're paying attention in multiple locations, you will make mistakes like that, leaving an immortal in the forward position. I mean, it costs him 2 more immortals as well as those hydras keep on coming in. He gets himself an observer too. I mean, that's the build time on the robo facility that's taken up as well. And I mean, you consider the fact that he killed off a robo too. It's half the robo production that Dia wants right now, and it's now going to be eaten into with the observer being taken down and having to be replaced most likely, just in case of lurkers even. It's annoying. Anyways, Dark just has so many units left over, and it looks as though it feels as though Dark has game number 2 in the bag, looking to tie this up 1-1 in our first semi-final of the day. Again, our second semi-final, Gumiho versus Innovation, will happen after this PVZ series before our best of 5 grand final to see who takes home the first place $300 prize pool. Phoenix actually going to get one of these overlords low. Does he actually kill it? Maybe not in time. I mean, he might kill it now. No, the Phoenix taken down by the Hydras, and again, it's this back and forth sort of scenario where there's just so many units here for Dark in different locations. Dia's splitting up nicely to help out dealing with this, but it isn't fully shutting it down. It isn't fully pushing this back or anything, as we are going to be seeing Dia. I mean, as he holds on, 4th base only just now starts for Dark. 18 Swarm Hosts on the way, guys. And that is most likely how this game ends. I mean, there's barely anything to deal with Swarm Hosts. There's what? 3 High Templar with Storm. So there's about 5 to 6 Storms to deal with 18 Swarm Hosts of Locusts. I'm just gonna save you guys doing the math and working out the damage in your head. It doesn't work out. Maybe the first set of Storms is really good, but then the second wave of Locusts comes in, and well, Dark, he's pretty much got this one. Dia is gonna need an absolute miracle to make this work. Let's see if he can find something. As we are going to see those couple of overlords off over to the right hand side, and a few Hydras and Swarm Hosts off to the left as well, thinking about dropping in here in the next few moments. Here we go, the first Locust coming up, and they're going to start landing on top of the army. And the fact they're landing already on top of High Templar Archons and the rest of it is already very painful. Actually, those Locusts went down a little bit faster than I thought they would. Thought they'd be able to do a little bit more. I guess not all the Swarm Hosts were there firing right away. Also, I guess they kind of dropped in with the Roach Hydra not being nearby either. A lot of the time, while the Locusts do a lot of damage, they do die fast, but it usually gives you the time to kind of get damage done with the Roach Hydra behind the Locusts, and keep that Roach Hydra alive. That's usually what we kind of see coming into play. That wasn't quite the case here this time. Storm was about to be off cooldown, so we are going to see these Locusts dropping in. I mean, that's 2 free Archons just sat right there. And as he just jumps on towards the main army, which he does, he still gets himself an Archon. It's just not quite free. Actually, now he gets himself one of those Archons I was talking about, because they were just morphing in. He's going to get himself an Immortal or 2 as well, though. Gets one, backs away from the other. Again, playing the slow patient style here. Dark knows all he has to do is, well, play the longer game. He's got Lurker Den about to finish as well, so Lurkers will obviously be able to kind of come into this as well. And Dia is really just in absolute pain in terms of where he's at in this game. I mean, can he fight this? Maybe he can engage before the Locusts are off cooldown. It's a possibility. So we're fighting some overlords up here. Now the Locusts, Well, this is it. If Dia has a chance to win this, it's right now. He has to get rid of these Locusts very effectively. Storm's coming down. The Locust numbers just still a little bit too good. Archon's going to come into the front and just kites away from the Locust. That's fine too, but then there's so many Hydras. It just feels like there's not going to be enough here. The Archon goes down, the Immortals will go down too. And there's out a few Stalkers from the other side, but there's more Hydras continue to stream on out. And, well, again, there's these couple of Immortals go down the left-hand side. My friends, is going to be how Dark ties this up 1-1. GG. Swarmhost coming to his victory there after. I just love hanging out in New York. I just feel like you can walk around all day and it's just fun. Fun place, fun place. Alright guys, let's do this as we kick off into Game 3 of our series. First semi-final of 2 today, of course. Semi-finals generally come in pairs. And after this we do have Innovation versus Gumiho, Terran versus Terran as well. To the bottom right hand side, our red Zerg player is Dark. And he's going up against the blue Zerg Protoss player, Dia, on the upper left hand side. Did I bring a Sneak with me to New York? No, I didn't. Actually not sponsored by Sneak anymore. Sponsorship, our second month of sponsorship ran out, and that was all the sponsorships they were doing for the moment, so a little bit of a shame, but it's a fun product. Gonna have a new sponsorship coming up on the channel soon, so we'll obviously talk more about that when that comes around, but for now, the Sneak is over. I'm still going to drink some though. I've actually got another carton of it still, so I'm looking forward to having my Sneak dosage when I get back home. If I didn't bring it to New York with me, that would have been a bit silly. That just would have been mental, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? Hey Wardy, how often do you play SE2? A decent amount, depends sort of what mood I'm in. Lately I've been very busy, so I haven't been able to play a lot, but at the minute I'm really enjoying playing StarCraft. Obviously I've not been able to play much this week, but last week I actually played in the BTSL tournament, which I was meant to be casting. Oops. So last week I actually played in BTSL, and I also went to Vancouver Barcraft, and I played in their little tournament there, and I got to the finals, which was, you know, definitely because of some Proxy 4 acts and a couple of cheeses, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I try and play StarCraft every week. I mean, some weeks I just prefer playing other games. Some weeks I cast so much I like to chill out with other games. Right now, I kind of want to play, but I just can't because I'm on vacation. I'm not going to play on the couch setup, believe it or not, guys. It's not going to be good for me. Couch casting is bad for your back. Yeah, I know. I kind of feel like I should lie down. You know, I should go for like the paint me like one of your French girls casting look. Let's see what we do. I don't know if it would work. It'd be a bit weird, really. Just casting lying down. It's probably not good for your vocal cords, is it? Anyways, we're following the slow trajectory of this overlord across the map. As we do just see these couple of links coming up to the top side. You have the Fed hatcheries on the way down here from Dark on the south side, so far, I mean, not much of an interesting game, obviously for the first 3 minutes or so. We've seen the Stargate come up, so we're watching for that Phoenix coming out, and we'll see what can come from there. Again, the winner of this series will play either Innovation or Gumiho, which guarantees us a Terran versus something matchup, either Terran versus Protoss or Terran versus Zerg in the Grand Finals. As you do see us looking forward, he is going to get rid of this Overlord in the next couple of moments, so Overlord can go down. And that Robo facility just starting to build up here in the front of the wall as well, so Robo on its way up. We do see the lair on its way now from Dark also. And Twilight Council starting up too. So, just sort of sat here chilling, guys, waiting for the game to get interesting. I don't know. PvZ still just doesn't really do it for me. I just really feel as though this matchup is still just the same as it has been for the last 2 or 3 months. Slight compositional changes, but in general the opening build was... I actually think the mid game is really interesting and fun to watch because it's very engagement heavy. It's very kind of, you know, execution heavy in terms of who's successful, but I really find the first 4 to 5 minutes of PvZ very uninteresting because it really is time and time again the same 4-gate Templar Archives Robo into a third base, or 6 gates. Oh, you added 2 more gates. I guess at least once the Archon's up it gets interesting too, right? But it just takes 5 minutes or so until that happens. Any reason game music isn't loud or enabled, so I just turned game music off today because I'm on my laptop setup and it took us a little while to balance the other sounds, and I realized I didn't have music turned on, so I just decided to leave the music turned off rather than going through the entire balancing situation all over again, basically, because I didn't want to have to do even more music balancing if it wasn't needed. So yeah, apologies for that. I know I quite like having the game music on as well, guys, but it's one of those days I'm just going to do without it to help me with the simplicity of keeping the stream set up nicely, or somewhat nicely. Group of Spines on the way out of the Hydraless Den, already 11 Hydras on the way up. This is actually 51 drones, so this is looking to be a very aggressive attack here potentially. And that one Archon is so low, it's going to go down. Dia's making some mistakes, I have to say, with these Archons. I mean, we saw the Warp Prism dying earlier, he lost 2 Archons. This time he just loses an Archon straight up, while, you know, he should have been able to micro it, you know. Honestly, the Warp Prism was near enough by. Second time today I've been kind of disappointed with Dia's kind of Archon Warp Prism control. A little bit of a shame. 4 more gates on the way from Dia. 55 probes, I mean, he's just setting up into more work as he is saturating that next base of his. Now it's going to be seeing those wings trying to run on forwards, as we do have the Oracle trying to just get rid of a few more Zerglings here. Slicestorm starting up from Dia and the Lurker Den starting up from Dark. Both of these players going into the next stage of the game. Obviously, Slicestorm and Lurker Den, it opens the opportunities for both players here. So continuing into this, we just see these Hydras going to knock down the rocks on the right side. Dark limiting the ways in which Dia can push on into him. Dark yet to take a 4th base. See if he pushes forwards or to the bottom left. I think forwards is a good base to take, especially if you're going Lurkers, because you can hold the forward location very easily with Lurkers. Lurkers are very good at that sort of, those defensive sort of positions. So we are going to be seeing the feelings up the right hand side, trying to see what else is going on. A couple of Linians getting taken down here, and again charge about to finish up alongside that Storm. So there really is everything you kind of need here as Dia to be able to deal with this right now, as you're going to be seeing these Hydras getting rid of that Phoenix. Phoenix does go down. And again, just going to be having Lings and Hydras of Dark. It's going to come around into the center of the map once again. So, into the center, a couple of Lings are going to head on out. One up to the north, one over to the right. And Templar getting a couple of shots off right there too. So a little bit of damage being dealt, and we do see Robo Facility is still just on the way up from Dia, about halfway done. It's the second Robo, so again, looking to build up that Immortal count as, well, 8 minutes in game, the Lurkers are on the way. The Immortals are going to be so important here, of course. You're not going to be seeing a few of them on the way right now. More Lings coming across as well. Can Dark make this fight basically win the game for him, I guess? Doesn't have to win the game now, but, the first time you push with Lurkers, it definitely feels like it's got quite some potential, doesn't it? Well, Lings to the right hand side, feels as though they've been scoured because the army's moving over to the right hand side, ready to greet these Hydras too, perhaps? Does leave the Lurkers kind of open to just run in position here on towards the natural. It's going to make things a little more difficult to deal with here. Those Lings are going to go down very quickly, but the Lurkers have sieged up now, and this is where we're going to have to see a commitment from Dia. I don't think he can just sit back and let his Robos die. One of them already goes down, but I just don't think you can let this happen for an extended period of time. I think you have to commit on in. Here we go, first Storm starting to come on down. High Templar going to keep on storming. I'm just going to run back through the Storm to get back into this now. More Lurkers have appeared on the left hand side of this. You're not going to see those Lurkers go down. Observer is good in the sky, and Dia is going to hold on with a supply lead as well. Yes, he lost one of his Robos, but thank God he built a second one. He can keep up the Immortal production. This is a good first fight from Dia. Actually, good first engagement in terms of the mid-game. Really just shuts everything down. The Lings to the right-hand side just ran straight on the army, killed nothing. The Lurkers, yeah, they made some progress through the wall off, but they only really took down a structure or two. They didn't actually kill off any units. They didn't actually kill off any workers or anything. So, I mean, if you look at the units lost, which we can do because we actually have Game Heart on, apparently, you can just see only 2 Archons lost, only 17 like, these are very, you know, all these units out of Protoss play are very easily replaced. Like 2 Archons aren't as easily replaced as Zealots, but you know, it's better than 2 Immortals, and it's only 2 as well when you've killed 10 Lurkers. It's pretty sick from Dia, who might just go across the map to counterattack right now, knowing that that fight went well for him. If he can identify that and he pushes now, honestly, there's going to be a really good position for him, it feels like. It's going to be a really good position for him. So you do see this army coming across, moves into the center. Obviously some creep could be cleaned out. You must still have an observer, right? There's no way he comes across the map without an observer, even if he has the Oracle. Just that observer, just in case you miss the revelation or something against, you know, more lurkers. Look at that, he cleans out the creep and he just backs away, taking a 4th base in the process. Dark did take the bottom left hand side. And we're just going to be seeing Dia again backing all the way away. Giving Dark a little bit of respect. Giving Dark the chance to build on up, and Dark is going to build up into some Dropper Lords as well as 10 Swarm Hosts. So Dark's going to change up his playstyle now. The Dropper Lords are definitely going to keep on pulling Dia around the map, keep on stopping Dia from just sort of sitting around and doing whatever. So 10 Swarm Hosts on the way, a few Roaches coming up too. Is the Dropper Lords as well. I mean, combined with the Swarm Host, the fact he can strike a couple different places, this could get dangerous. Dia though, he showed us in the last game a good idea in terms of how you deal with the oh no, there's out on hold position, and we do see a run by getting off. And he was going to say he showed us a good way of kind of dealing with the Swarm Host last game, which was, you know, try and attack while they were on cooldown, and I think he did a very good job of that. He just was already so far behind. Let's see what happens here right now. He's actually going to push in. The Locusts already popping up into the skies. Where's the support for those Locusts? Honestly, I actually don't really know. First Storm's going down. Some Locusts are just going to die before they even reach. Oh my god, this is so good for Dia. Like 4 Locusts get onto the ground there? That is not a lot, and obviously he's now already across the map, and so it's only kind of Roach Hider to fight against this. There's so many Storms left over too. This is looking absolutely fantastic right now for Dia as he's coming on. And you're going to see these Immortals and Archons just fighting on forwards, a couple of Storms coming down. We're going to be seeing these Immortals continue to fight away, a couple of these Hydras going down. Dia, this was pretty sick, man. I mean, he defended that attack against the Lurkers very well, and this fight here, he just hits the Storms perfectly onto the Locusts, make sure they never really get a chance to land. This one might be a bit different because he doesn't have as many Storms left over. With Storms coming down, he actually gets the Zealots to kind of tank the Locusts landing over on the top side, which is important because if the Locusts don't land on top of the Archons and Immortals, they're very slow to then approach the Archons and Immortals, which is very important too. Morphs in his last couple of High Templar into an Archon, and looks as though Dia is going to the Grand Finals where he'll play a PvT against either Innovation or Gumiho. The second semi-final should be coming up in just a couple of minutes now, guys. As